Its name is synonymous with San Francisco, Alcatraz. The mere mention of the word musters up old stories from a time long past. From Al Capone, the Birdman of Alcatraz, to the few who actually escaped the prison and made it off the island, but were never seen or heard from again. Hello everyone, I'm Todd Harris. Welcome to the 2010 30th anniversary Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon. Behind me on the hornblower, over 2,000 athletes are getting ready to start one of the most famous triathlons in the world. Why is it so popular? Well, that island right there, simply called The Rock. Another, the water underneath me. At 55 degrees, it will numb any part of the body that's not protected. Factor in the treacherous currents, you've got some serious issues. The swim is a sheer test of will, and it's the reason why they turned that island into a prison. Now, when you get to the shore, you'd think it would get easier. Well, it doesn't. For more on that, I check in with my partner, Mark Fuel, who is standing by in the transition area.
Thanks, Todd. And you're right. It doesn't get any easier on land. In fact, some will say this is where the real hard work begins. In the transition from the swim to the bike. The athletes come out of the water. They're cold, struggling to get their wetsuits off, a little bit disoriented. And then they have to find their bikes in this sea of equipment. For the average triathlete, they can afford to take their time, a little bit. But for the top pros, or the top age groupers, they have one goal: get in and out of transition as quickly as possible. Triathlon is made up of 3 disciplines: swim, bike and run. But this, the 4th leg, is critical to success.
Thank you, Mark. Let's take a quick look at exactly where this challenging course takes place. The race begins off Alcatraz Island with a 1.5-mile swim, ending at the beach just east of Crissy Field. From there, it's an 18-mile bike ride up through the Presidio, out to the Great Highway and back. Then it's an 8-mile run, 4 miles out to Baker Beach and the well-known Equinox Sand Ladder, 4 miles back.
And this is one of the more unique aspects of the sport of triathlon off Alcatraz Island on the Hornblower San Francisco Bell. A lot of nervousness on the boat there. Try to get yourself in a good position, but you're hot, you're sweaty, you've been on there for about an hour, and you're trying to find the best line to the beach.
Alcatraz race is underway. All the athletes will enter the water in just about 6 minutes, and as you can see, you better be ready to jump off when it's your time.
Yeah, and this is not a normal feeling at all. No matter how many times you've done this race, you are out in the middle of the ocean. You've got Alcatraz behind you, a virtual flotilla of boats and kayaks around you, a chopper overhead. And this is one of the few races where you just don't want to get lost out in the middle of the ocean.
Well, as you can see, you're taught to aim left on a swim because the current will bring you back hard to the right.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Alcatraz is you have to judge not just where you're lining up with, but also the move and the sweep of the current.
Men's leaders are starting to take shape, and there's Dustin McClarty out in front, followed by past champion Andy Potts just to the right of him. And there is our women's leader. That's defending champion Mary Beth Ellis.
Well, Ellis likes to lead, whether it be in the swim or on the bike or the run. But Leander Cave there, very experienced, has won here 2 times before, right on her heels. Jenna Shoemaker will also be in that pack.
Shoemaker sits in second, Cave in third, but the defending champion Mary Beth Ellis out in front. So already a few familiar faces are emerging at the front of this, the 30th anniversary of this great race. Let's meet who's here this year.
I've always had a good race here. My first race here was in 2005, so this makes it my 6th Escape from Alcatraz. I've raced 3 weekends in a row now, and it's going to be an interesting day. You're going to get my very best effort. There's some great competition here. You've got some strong Americans in the international field with Chris McCormick, a world champion, and Bevan Doherty, a 2-time Olympic medalist. I'm hoping for a top 3, and if I can improve and finish higher, that's the goal.
When I won in 2005, it was my very first time racing Alcatraz, and I can't believe that I won the first time. I haven't been back here the past 2 years because of the Olympic Games in Beijing. It's time to come back. It's 2010. I'm feeling great. It's going to be jitters, you know, just the same at 8 a.m. jumping off the ferry boat as we all enter into the water. My goals for Escape from Alcatraz is just to really enjoy the experience. With the field that's here this weekend, I think if I can get a top 3 finish, I'll be happy with that.
2006, Alcatraz was actually my first pro race, so it has a pretty special place in my heart. 2008, I was in the lead on the bike and I put my pedal on incorrectly, so I crashed. So I came back in 2009, definitely wanted to prove myself after 2008 and managed to have a good day out there, and definitely a race I've always wanted to win, so pretty unbelievable. Definitely one of the highlights of my season last year, probably my career so far. This year back and so excited to do the race again.
My first time here ever I won, that was really special. Second year I won again. I know what went wrong last year, me thinking I can go and do a race a week before and come into this race and think I could win. No, I got to come in here fresh as a daisy. This race is obviously the one I want to win. This year I've really trained hard, good solid 5 weeks of training since my last race, so I think I got it for another win.
Quite an impressive field assembled here this year, Mark, and as you can see, the leaders are making progress in the swim away from Alcatraz. Still in the lead, Dustin McClarty, and what's the strategy here?
Well, generally the strategy is if you're a very strong swimmer, get yourself out in front and try to get away. If you're a weaker swimmer, you want to sit in behind. You can see there, you actually get about 25% help in the water if you're dragging off somebody's feet.
Well, the conditions always affect the strategy, but today Mother Nature's delivered us some pretty nice weather.
Yeah, it is about as good as it gets. There is a slight current dragging towards the bridge, but not particularly strong, certainly not as strong as when Simon Lessing set the record back in 2004. But you can see, little chop on the water, beautiful smooth conditions, and this is our leader, Mary Beth Ellis, in the female race.
Shoemaker, Leanda Cave sits in third. Those are the top three in the women's race.
Jenna Shoemaker in behind Mary Beth Ellis from a talented triathlon family, of course, sister to Jared Shoemaker, and Leanda Cave, multiple world champion in third.
Wow, look at this, the three-time defending champion at the top of your screen. That's Andy Potts heading to the right. Mark, what's he thinking here?
Well, he knows exactly where he wants to go. He is honing in on a spot on the beach, and he is not worried about anybody else.
Well, Andy Potts is either outsmarting the field or his bearings are off. Coming up, an 18-mile bike ride through the punishing streets of San Francisco that will completely max out the quads. Then the third leg of the triathlon puzzle, the run. Hills, sand, steps. The 30th anniversary Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon continues.